Riding your bike through autumn and winter can be a pretty miserable affair, especially if, like us, you live in the UK, when it can be cold, rainy, and you're often riding on roads that are completely strewn in potholes, muck, and salt. Now, here at Cycling Weekly, we cannot promise to make your winter rides as fun and enjoyable as they are during the summer, but we have come up with a few ingenious little hacks and hints that can help get your bike ready and hopefully alleviate a little bit of the pain. Now, these go a little bit beyond the usual recommendations for how to get your bike ready for winter. To be honest, we've already made those videos, so if you look in the description below, you'll see links to those videos there. So let's just dive straight in. One of the things that I found really useful to have during the winter is extra visibility. Obviously, we're going to be riding when it's a little bit dark, so anything that makes you stand out a bit more for car drivers or other traffic is, in my book, a really important thing. So I've picked up some really cool little stickers. These only cost a couple of pounds, but they are ideal for sticking all over your frame and whatever components you have. The good thing is, if you've got a nice looking bike, these are just plain little black stickers. However, when a bright light shines on them, they reflect back in bright silver. So it just picks you out during those winter rides. So you can put these wherever you want on the bike and make sure that you stay safe. One of the things that can often happen when you're riding during the winter, especially in the rain, is your hands get pretty slippery. So operating the shifters and sometimes the brakes can be a little bit sketchy. One of the things I found works really well in this case is a little bit of grip tape. Now, this is actually really simple to find online, only costs a couple of pounds, and it comes in a roll that's long enough for you to be able to share it with all of your friends. It's sticky backed and you can cut it to shape to fit wherever you want it, so where you want to have that little extra grip. It's the same stuff as you find on a skateboard, so it is quite rough, so be aware of that when it comes to your gloves. But for me personally, I would much prefer to have that safer shifting and braking than worry about wearing my gloves out. We often talk about going for longer, steadier rides during the winter, and one of the things that becomes paramount for all of us is a bit of extra comfort. Now, your bar tape goes a long way to make you comfortable when you're on a longer ride. So now's the time to, first of all, take a check. Have a little look at your bar tape and see if it's worn. If it is, it's time to change it. And what I'd recommend you do is to change it for something with a bit more grip or a bit more cushioning. Some people double wrap their bars during the winter, which makes it a lot bigger, but also very comfortable. Or you can get some little gel pads. Now, again, these are a simple thing to find. Lots of bike shops sell these and they don't cost a huge amount, and they basically go underneath your bar tape. So you get parts to go over the top and parts to go on the drops. Little squidgy bits here, and they're reusable. That's the other good thing here, so you don't have to worry about changing these over all the time. So if you change your bar tape, you can just change this. If your bar tape is in good condition, you should be able to unwind it and then apply these underneath and then put your bar tape back on again. But if not, as I said, it could be a good time to get yourself some nice squishy or grippy bar tape to keep you safe during the winter. One of my pet hates during the winter is getting a rusty chain. Now, obviously we can all try and alleviate that by keeping our bikes as clean as possible, but sometimes it's just not possible. If you've been out for a ride in the evening, it's cold and it's wet, all you really want to do is get in and get warm. So what you can do is you can find chains that are a bit more durable and a bit more resistant to rusting, often ones with stainless steel in them. Now, they can be quite expensive, but because they're more durable and more resistant to rusting, they're often worth their weight. Now, Connex do a really good one. This is the 11SX, 11-speed chain, and this has got stainless steel links in it, so it should last a long time, even when there's lots of salt on the road. Obviously, we still are going to tell you to clean your bike as much as possible because it is going to work much better through the winter. But now's your time to get yourself a new chain. Another safety tip is to do with your brakes. So here, we're not just talking about making sure that your brake pads are clean and that they are in good working order, but the actual compounds of those brake pads. When was the last time you thought about this, for example? Now, if you've got rim brakes or disc brakes, you can find brake compounds that are better for use during the wet and the mucky conditions of winter. If you've got rim brakes, you can get brake pads such as these SwissDot BXP that are designed for use during the wet and mucky winter months. So they have a compound that lasts longer, but it also provides much more reliable braking power during wet weather use. You can buy them either as full kits or as the brake pads themselves as a pack of 4, and that would be certainly something you might want to consider. If you've got disc brakes, here we're talking about sintered brake pads. Now you can often check which brake pads you have by taking out the brake pads from your brake and looking at, first of all, the back of it. A lot of them have it either printed or stamped, whether it's a resin pad, an organic pad, or if it's a sintered pad. But a sintered pad is designed to last longer and also be more reliable in wet weather. So it's made up of not only the standard sort of resin, but lots of metallic particles, which are designed to provide that extra braking power. So if you don't have sintered brake pads on your bike, it's a good thing to try to fit. Okay, so this one is a given, but mudguards. I know they're boring, but they are a really, really good idea if you are going to go riding outside in the wet, especially if you're riding with your friends. They will all appreciate it. Now, if your bike has got eyelets for mudguards, then you must fit a good proper set of mudguards. There's nothing quite like it. These provide the best coverage. However, if your bike doesn't have those, then there are still options. You can get some really cool, very small and discreet mudguards like these ones here. And these are designed to fit most bikes without those mudguard mounts. They don't obviously provide the same amount of protection, but they will keep your bum dry or keep a little bit of spray off your face when you're out in those wet conditions. Dirt doesn't like clean bikes. There, I said it. Having a clean bike is a good starting point during the winter for keeping everything running properly. But there's one extra level of cleanliness you can go to keep your bike extra clean through the winter. And that is to apply some polish to it. Now, we're not talking about spraying it everywhere because that would be crazy, but applying some silicone polish to the frame and the forks will give mud and muck less chance to grip onto that frame, keeping your bike cleaner, and it means then it's going to be easier to clean at all times. You can either apply it directly to the frame or you can apply it to a rag and then wipe it on. But the best thing is, because it's nice and slippery, then that dirt just doesn't stand a chance to stay onto your bike. If you don't want to use silicone spray, one thing you can do is you can get some invisible protection. So you can get tape that will fit onto your bike, which will then protect it, first of all from dirt, but also from any knocks as well. So that could be another option, another little extra tip to keep your bike working perfectly through the winter. And my last tip today is one that we've been banging on quite a lot, and that is going tubeless. Yes, I know we keep talking about it. I know there's people out there that don't really like the idea, but if you've ever stood on the side of the road with a puncture when your hands don't work, everything's covered in muck and it's raining, it's a miserable feeling. So anything that should prevent that from happening is going to make sure that you're going to enjoy your ride a little bit more during the winter. So if you can, try tubeless. Well, I hope you find these little hacks and hints useful and that they should make your winter riding a little bit more enjoyable. Now, if you've got any different tips or hacks that you use to make your winter riding a little bit more bearable, please put it in the comments section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with our latest releases. But until the next one, we'll see you soon.